ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. But of course, before we get to any of that, I'm joined today by gentleman Nathaniel Gingrich.
What up, folks? I'm Gentleman Nathaniel.
A true gentleman.
That's me.
What do you do that is the most gentleman thing when courting a girl or lady?
Generally,
What's your go-to?
yeah, whenever you come across a puddle, you just lay down in the middle of
Right.
it and let them walk over you.
Right, not a not a jacket. Your
Not the
body
jacket,
himself.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Take my jacket off, give it to her because she's cold, and then I lay down in the puddle and she walks across my back.
Right. Right. Not like lift her over the puddle.
No.
Not steer her around.
Not-
I like to imagine
I'm not
it's a very
strong,
small puddle that
Adam.
it's like a very small puddle you could walk over, but Nathaniel lies in it anyway.
Yeah.
And the girl's just like, okay.
It's definitely less. Yeah, it is. It is shorter than I am. This puddle.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, if it's longer, then we have a problem.
Yeah,
what are you
then-
gonna do then?
Then I swim.
Okay. Well, good. Also joining us today is Big Tugboat BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up?
What's going on, Blake? I heard you recently entered a men's basketball league. How are you feeling?
Oh, brother, tough. We lost our best player, so it was my buddy
Oh.
who convinced me to. He's basically like the second person in charge to convince me to do it.
Mhm.
So we lost my buddy from college, who was one of my roommates in college, but he played basketball in high school instead of football.
Okay.
So like we probably would have been in a decent position with this guy. This
Yeah.
guy gets hurt first game in the first
Is he
quarter.
the one who rolled his ankle?
Yeah, and
Ooh.
it was tough after he went down. So yeah, we may be in for a long season. I'm
What's
not the
the-
greatest
yeah.
basketball player. I stopped playing basketball in 9th grade. You know what I mean? So I watch
Yeah.
enough to like understand it, but I'm definitely not. I'm not dominating the basketball by any means. Not even close to.
What's
it,
the
you know?
what's the turnaround time on a rolled ankle? Is he out for the season?
At this age, at 30,
Yeah.
I think he's done, brother. That'd be my guess.
Is it a
But
high
we'll have
ankle
to-
sprain? He's out for the season or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
we'll have to see.
That's funny,
I
dude.
think an ankle sprain.
What did
as
the
an
MRI
adult?
say?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We'll have to see.
That's
But yeah, man, we're holding on. We'll see. Game 2 Thursday. See if we can
All
get
right.
a W.
all right.
At this point, the goal is not
we're
to
at.
go
Maybe
win
I'll
this
come
thing.
out. Maybe I'll come support.
So funny, and so it's league, and
Yeah.
it's I believe it's at like it's either got to be like an alternative school or something. Which because I didn't know there was a high school there. So it's
Is
in
it on Northwest Highway?
No, it's off and what is that? Just east of so like like there's a
Yeah,
mobile
yeah,
gas station.
That's.
So-
Oh wait.
Just is all
Wait,
these.
that's my. Yeah, wait, that's my office building. That's where I work.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I work.
So cuz yeah, I got there and yes.
I'm gonna
and I was like
bleep that out just for safety purposes.
So you don't dox
Um,
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I had no idea there was an actual high school there. I didn't know what it was because I got in the gym
Right.
and then it had all of that conference, like you know how like if you go in a high school gym, it has like the local teams.
Yeah.
And it had all local teams, and I was kind of like,
That's
what the fuck? I know there's a high
Yeah.
school here.
so
So
on the
I thought it was
bleachers.
an
I don't
alternative.
know what gym you played in, but on the bleachers, I think it says.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's red
that's
bleachers?
the school district I work to or
Yeah.
work at. That's my office building. That's like
Oh, that's funny.
legitimately where I go
Yeah.
to work every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had no idea that was even over there. So that's
Yeah,
not an
yeah.
alternative school then, correct?
It is kind of. So it is. I'm sorry. I'm marking down another timestamp so people
For
don't know the
sure.
school
Yeah, we
district
can-
I work at. For.
Yeah. Sure.
But it is and it isn't. So it's there's like 3 schools mixed into that that whole building there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, kind of an alternative school kind of thing.
Yeah, funny, man. That was totally new to me. Totally new to me.
Yeah, that's really funny. You were like starting to describe it, and I was like, I know these directions. I
Yeah.
know where you're at.
I've been there before.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. That's
But
funny.
yeah, man. That's all. That's
All right. Well,
all
hey,
new
let me
to
know. No, let me know the next time you play, because I might just stay late after work and get paid and then
Please,
come watch.
please
Come
do.
watch and support. Maybe I'll sub in if you need a player. I also stopped playing.
That now you're talking. If you want to stay to sub in, we'll probably need
I
some help.
stopped playing in the 7th grade, so I have you beat. But hey, I worked on my shot a lot in college because my fraternity had a basketball court in our backyard. So
Okay,
I
got
played a
some
lot.
shots up.
Shouldn't say I play a lot. I played a little bit in college, and then like would just
Yeah.
like kind of shoot around, and so like I've gotten better.
For sure.
Could probably set a screen or 2 for you guys, but I don't know how many points I'm scoring.
I'm in the same bucket, brother. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're just gonna be setting screens for each other, and someone will eventually get a layup, right? Yeah. That's too funny. That's too funny. You listeners, you might notice we're missing a member of our crew. Tyler Vidalis could not join us. He has not seen the movie because he is busy moving out of his apartment. What is his home technically? Is it an apartment?
Yeah,
Condo?
their apartment.
Okay. His place
house
of
hunting?
living. Yeah. So he has to move out by Thursday. Today's Tuesday. So he hasn't had a chance to see the movie and wasn't going to have much of a chance to record. So here we are. Bit of Sizzle, totally understandable for his situation. Was helping him move out on Saturday. They got a lot of stuff as people do when they live somewhere for 2 years. So
Yep.
best of luck to him. He was explaining to me. I was the only one besides him and Leah and his dad and me. It was the 4 of us. He was explaining to me. It was good. Yeah, it was chill. We just, like he said in the text that he sent us, it was just like the big furniture and stuff, and then they were still packing up like a lot of the small things. So it wasn't too bad. But he was telling me like he had 2 sets of friends that were also moving into places. Blake, you were helping someone else move, and like his brother or like his like family had like something going on. Like he hit up everybody to help him try to move out on Sunday or on Saturday, and just like everyone was doing something already. Besides Justin Vidalis, his brother, who just decided not to show up. So shout out Justin.
Yeah. If it makes matters any worse, so the person I had to help move on Saturday, my buddy, is the same guy who rolled his ankle in that basketball game on Thursday.
Oh,
So like
man.
that, yeah. Talk about a fucking day,
Oh,
bro.
man.
That Saturday was hell.
Wait, so you guys played? You guys moved and then played?
No, we played on Thursday night. He rolled his ankle
no
Thursday
way.
night, and we had to
Oh
move
my God.
Saturday. So as he rolls his ankle, he like
man.
goes to the
Oh,
bench,
no.
and he's like, "Bro, I have to fucking move in 2 days."
Oh,
You know, just
no, bro.
terrible, man. Couldn't carry anything, hobbling downstairs.
That's
It was comical.
awful. That's awful. Well, then your services were certainly more needed
Oh, for
there
sure, I couldn't
probably
bail.
than at
Yeah.
Ties, because we were able to handle stuff for the most part. Nothing we couldn't get done, but yeah, that's funny. But yeah, so Ty's going through a little bit. He's still house hunting and all that, but getting out of his place and moving into the in-laws' house. So
Yeah. Hopefully we get
that
an
is where
update
he
that,
is.
they land something soon, right? That's what we're
Yeah,
shooting
he
for.
said he told me that they were gonna look at a place that was very promising on Sunday.
Okay.
But I don't. He hasn't sent an update in the chat or anything, so I don't know if that happened. But we'll see. We'll get an update from him next week probably.
For sure.
But yeah, that is where Ty's at. So does now just the 3 of us, and this means it's a bit of sizzle up, so it's an extra fun episode. Yeah, I guess without further ado, I mean we've chatted enough in the beginning. We have plenty of post pod to put at the end, so I think we can just head on into this review. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how the review segment works?
What up, folks? If maybe you're new, or perhaps you've just forgotten the way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter, it is split into 2 sections. There is the non-spoiler section, then there's the spoiler section. Pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie itself, who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all that good stuff. We'll go around the squadron tonight, a triumvirate, and decide if we would recommend it, yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. And from then on, we'll be in spoiler time. If you don't have anything spoiled for you, just go ahead and check on out, but check back in to see where we rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. All of those time codes will be in the show notes for you, and we'll play the spoiler noise. Adam, tell me about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I would love to. This is a new movie, rated R, with a runtime of 2 hours. And that's it, 2 hours flat. It's got an IMDb rating of 7.3 out of 10. It's directed by Guy Ritchie, written by Guy Ritchie, with Arash Amal, Eric Johnson, and Paul Tamassi. And it is based on the book by Damian Lewis. The cast includes Henry Cavill, Alan Richardson, Alex Pettyfer, Isa Gonzalez, Babs. Okay, we're gonna go with Babs Alasanamukun. Man, that's a tough one. Olasanmoken. Okay, we're gonna go with that. And then Carrie Eels, and can I stop there? Who else am I missing? Hirafien Tiffin is here. Henry Golding is another name I recognized. But I think that's kind of it on characters. Am I missing anyone?
Not that I think so.
No, I'd say you're spot on.
All right. We'll leave it there. Apologies if I missed your name and you're in the cast. If you're listening to this and you're in the cast, hello. We'd love to have you on the show. Just reach out. Our email's in the description. The IMDb summary reads as follows. The British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against German forces behind enemy lines during World War II. That's a little misleading. It's not necessarily like Band of Brothers behind enemy lines, like that kind of thing. It's more like covert ops, I would say. And I don't know. I guess they're kind of behind enemy lines. They're sneaking in places. They're dressed as civilians for the most part. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get the gist. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. If you've seen any of his films, we've I think only featured The Gentleman on pod before. In terms of his films, but if you've seen any of those films, seems like it's pretty in line with those. Yeah. What are we thinking here, fellas? 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb, pretty solid rating.
Yeah.
Where we landed?
Yeah, I'll shoot at it first. That 7.3 on IMDb is probably surprised. Didn't think it'd be that high. But upon watching it, honestly, I like it, man. I think Guy Ritchie he's found his lane in cinema to me. And it's like not like groundbreaking or the greatest films ever, but it's just like it's a pretty good movie. Like I don't know how else to explain it besides saying that, So yeah, overall I like it. The cast was good. I went into this completely blind though. So I didn't even know Henry Cavill was. I didn't know anything about this movie. It was on the short list, put it on here, walked into a theater. Funny story on this. So my theater, I saw it today at 4:50. I want to say there was probably 5 people in my theater. There's a guy who grabs a seat, and it's immediately next to me, and like my inner rage was like blowing out the fucking roof the entire movie.
Dude, crazy. I would say something.
Yeah.
Did you get up and move?
I would have moved.
I was going to, but I didn't. Like, I couldn't allow it. I couldn't allow myself.
That's the time for the classic. You go to the bathroom and you come back and you sit in one seat, one over.
Okay.
From them,
Yeah. Yeah. I should have, but
that's just objectively rude. Like that's like that's like when there's like 4 urinals open and then you go directly next to somebody. Like that might be worse because you are spending more time next to somebody in the theater than you are next to them in a urinal. Like that's offensive.
Made no sense at all, man. So like that was at the Niles Theater today. So backtracking to last week's ep of Civil War, when Jesse Plemons asked, "What kind of American are you?" That is the worst kind of American we have, ladies and gentlemen.
That is true. That is
the
true.
person who sits immediately next to you in a 99% empty movie theater. Wherever that guy's at, I hope he had a shitty rest of his day. That's all my takeaway. Back to this movie.
That's valid.
Overall,
That's valid.
I liked it, man. It was good. Like I said, good cast, good jokes. I like this setting more than the last Guy Ritchie film we had on here, of that Nazi Germany setting. I think it's just kind of more appealing to me. Opposed
You like
to,
Nazi Germany? Noted.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna clip that one and put that on the internet,
Yeah.
right? For sure. That's how they get folks these days. But yeah, we'll deep dive it into spoilers, so we can kind of talk plot. Obviously, it's as Nathaniel says, it's one of those ragtag, like, you've got a mission, I've got a team. It's one of those movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my thoughts. We'll pass it on to, let's go to Adam.
Yeah, I think you're spot on where it's like, it's a good movie. And I have nothing more to like really say. Again, nothing groundbreaking here. Nothing particularly like, oh, I'd change this or change that, or like, I can't believe they did this. Like, this was terrible. Like, no, it's just solid. It was good. It was fun. I had a good time. You're kind of relatively in and out. It was pretty quick. So you're in and out in 2 hours, and you watched a movie and you had a good time, and that's all there is to it, really. You're not really going to get anything too crazy here. Yeah, good cast, I would say. Fun characters. In terms of like this type of movie, like you said, or like, you know, assemble the team, like pretty good crack at that. I think you could have. I think there's maybe one of my biggest gripes with it is it just felt like there's this team was a little too spread, where they had kind of two storylines going that end up merging. And I wish we would have just had more time with either of those, more particularly like the main cast or the main group. Where like I just wish I would have had more time with those guys to develop more of like a kind of relationship with them and like them a little bit more, and they do a little bit more of that at the very beginning of the film, but from there they kind of just let that sit, and then they kind of just assume you're on board. And they spent a lot more time with, and I'm not trying to get too much into spoilers here, but spent a lot more time with the secondary almost part of the group that I felt connected to, but like those weren't the characters I really wanted to be more connected to, if that makes sense. So I can touch more on that in spoilers. That's kind of my biggest gripe with the movie. But overall, you're right. You hit it nail on the head. It's a good movie. It's fun. Nothing special. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, you had a good time. So I'm probably recommend. I don't know if you like need to rush to the theaters to see this, but if you were thinking about it, I would say yeah, go ahead. It's a good time. But if you are not an A-list member and you know don't want to spend your money on this, go see Dune 2 and Dune 2 again, and then you just wait till this comes to streaming. Right, Nathaniel?
There's a lot of other really good movies you can see besides Dune 2. One of which,
yeah, but are any of them really worth seeing once you've seen Dune 2?
Yeah, I'd say First Omen. Watch it right now.
Okay, fair.
Late Night with Devil. That's a good one. Civil War.
That is
which
a good one.
you were so excited about last week, but now
Oh
you
yeah,
just
go see
forgotten
Civil
about
War.
it.
I take that back. You can go see Civil War, and then if you have time, sneak into a Dune screening. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, Blind Allegiance. That's really smart. Yep. Anyways,
Is it blind? I've seen the movie.
true. I guess just fanatical allegiance. Then no.
There you go. It's not like there's any messages about that.
No messaging about that in Dune.
Like any of that went over my head.
Nothing about that at all. Anyways, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yeah, I think this is kind of. I saw someone on Twitter calling this like splitting the difference of Guy Ritchie's Aladdin and his other movie, The Gentleman, and I think that's kind of like a good declaration for like its tone, where it's like it's R-rated, but it's R-rated because of like action violence, not necessarily like gore
Content.
or anything like that, or content. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a better way of putting it. I think overall Alan Ritchson MVP. I've said in the past I'm a sucker for a ragtag band group and in a journey film. I think this one.
You have said this.
I have said this. I'm on record.
Yes.
I think this one for me, like I would have liked a little bit more of the journey. There's like a big part of this where they like just suddenly jump 10 days and like
Right.
that's just not really talked about or whatever. I think the supporting cast is a really big advantage of this movie. I think Alan Ritchson's really fun as one of kind of the members of the bastards, for lack of a better term.
Is that the dude from Reacher? Let me
It is,
look.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
you? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure. The glasses really threw me off. I don't know why.
I like the trend we're getting.
I like him. He's good.
I like the trend we're getting of giant men and tiny round glasses with like Dave
Yeah, it's
Bautista
great.
and then like
yeah.
It's so good.
Alan Ritchson now.
Really quick, Alan Richardson has said he would love to play Batman in the James Gunn DC universe, and I am so on board.
He's a big
I am
dude.
so on board.
Yeah, I can see that.
But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think the supporting cast is really good. I think Isaac Gonzalez kind of suffers from that I'm too beautiful to be a normal person and like believable as a normal person ever syndrome that I think like some Hollywood actresses fall into, unfortunately, where you're just like, you're not a normal person. It's the same thing as if like you saw Chris Pine like in if you were just like, if you were in a movie world and then Chris Pine walked into the, like your restaurant, you'd be like, well, that guy's a movie star. I don't know what to do with it. Like,
Right.
he's too handsome to be around normal people. So yeah, I think she has a little bit of that going on in this, but overall, I think it's a good time. I think unless you're like, if you're looking for a fun one to go see with your dad, this is an ultimate dad movie. If you're not necessarily like got anything on board for that, or you know, you could wait for the streaming. I think in some as well too. People keep calling it Guy Ritchie's Inglourious Bastards, and I think that's kind of an insult to that movie. And like, if Guy Ritchie was actually going to do an Inglourious Bastards, I would hope it would be like more mean spirited and like kind of like
yeah. This is not. I
that.
really hope this isn't his Inglourious Bastards. I think he could do a lot better if he was really trying to go for something like that.
Yeah. I would give it a recommend though.
Cool.
That's
Well,
funny
a
that
recommend.
that it's funny that you call this an ultimate dad movie, because like halfway through watching this, I was like, my dad would really like this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like it just is that. Like, for God's sakes, Ian Fleming is a side character in it. Like, the creator of James Bond is just a character in this movie. Like, it is such a dad movie.
Yeah, I did see it with Papa Schwartz. He had a good time with it.
Fair enough.
But it was funny. I did not sit next to him. I showed up. Nathaniel wasn't there. It was just Waz and his lonesome. So and I went to the bathroom. My dad went straight in the theater. So my dad sat down next to Waz, and I had to sit on the other side of Waz. And then it was Joe Godomsky. So it was a bit of an odd seating arrangement, but it was fun. We had a good time. But Papa Schwartz liked it. So yeah. We'll recommend all around here from the 3/4 of the squadron. We're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, go ahead, check that episode description where I've left a timestamp you can jump to, or you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie hub upon our Entropy list. Spoiler time, Nathaniel.
Oh, what should we do this week?
You gunshots. You got. I don't know. The sound of someone smoking a cigar.
Rim shot.
Okay.
Cool. First one I saw. Shit goes down at certain points throughout this.
At some points, starts off pretty hot. What do you guys think about that cold open of the boat scene?
It took me a minute to sink into everyone's accent work in this. So there's probably a good 45 seconds at the start where I was like, I don't understand any of this. I'm still trying to like catch up to where everyone's accent is right now. And like, because I know Alan Ritchson is American and he's putting on a Swedish accent. So I was like, is this just for the scene? Is that going to be him the whole movie? And then Cavill, So I was a little thrown off to begin with. But it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun opening. I think you kind of immediately get the personality or the kind of relationship and personality between the two characters and between the two actors. Would love to see them do more stuff together. I felt like they had great chemistry, and it just makes me want to watch Alan Ritchson more because, I mean, his character in this could not be like, I wouldn't say more different because obviously they're both kind of like killing people, but compared to like Reacher, I've seen a few episodes of that. It's a show my girlfriend likes a lot, which is kind of random, but because she doesn't like those type of shows usually. But anyway, seen a few episodes while hanging out with her, and she and he in that is much different kind of character in that show than we see here.
I've
So
seen Reacher.
I'd love to
I
see
like him.
in more.
I like him in
stuff.
Reacher. He's very funny.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, to my point earlier, there was, and I think you, Nathaniel, what you said about the whole journey part of it, I think that's kind of completes my end of like we didn't get enough with these characters, where there was something missing for me where we kind of just were jumping between set piece and action piece, and I did need kind of a little bit more to like sit with these characters and maybe empathize with them a little bit more, get a little bit more backstory to each of them. Kind of seems like we were just introduced to their relationships with each other, and then we're kind of just, all right, cool, we're all we need is here, and we're just gonna go, and then it's just kind of action and plot the rest of the way, and not a lot of like character stuff, which I do think is kind of missing, and kind of just didn't make me feel as connected to any of the events in the film as I really wanted to be, because I didn't really feel like I could almost like understand or relate to the characters as much. And I think your point of like we just kind of time jump 10 days has a little bit at least to do with that.
Yeah, and then like I think the character that they pick up there, Appleyard, for one, I spent 5 minutes being like, is that Army Hammer? I hope that's not Army Hammer. I really don't think it's Army Hammer, but I hope that's not Army Hammer. And I was like, oh no, that's I Am Number 4 Man. He's just actually a man now, and the last time I think of him, he's like 17 still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that was, it feels kind of odd that they just pick up this other character halfway through. I kept almost expecting him to be like a mole or something. Like
yeah, they kind of that was part of it.
But then yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I actually found the bits with Heron and Isa Gonzalez's character, Stewart, I think her name is. I did like those moments, I'll be honest. I think he's pretty great. One, I mean, is that who you're talking about where you're like, you say like you feel you spend too much time with them?
Yeah, him, Stewart, and what's the other character's name? Without subtitles, I was a little lost here in this one.
Heron. Richard Heron.
Yeah. With those two, like it felt like they had a lot more screen time than the other cast of characters, almost, or maybe not a lot more, but like a lot more than I feel like those two should have. And I get they were trying to kind of set up the villain at the end of the day, but like I just was not expecting those characters when we were introduced to them at the beginning of the movie to like have as much screen time as they ended up getting. And so that's where I was like just kind of feeling a little off with it. And like and again, I like those characters. And I had fun with them, but like it just giving them screen time took away time from the other set of characters who I was kind of wanting to see more of and wanted to be more invested in.
It's interesting considering, you know, you love Dune so much, and Heron plays Jamis in that movie too.
That's in Dune 1, which I like a lot, but
he's also in Dune 2.
In like a flashback and like a
I'm
little
just
like
saying,
you need to see the
it's
way.
your favorite movie. You don't even like him.
Yeah, but Jamis is a throwaway character.
He teaches him the ways of the desert. He's his best friend.
Well, no, in an alternate timeline he does where they become friends. Okay, you read the book. All right, read the book. Calm yourself down.
Also, big miss on that part. I found out that guy's like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, and like has been since like the early days. Yeah, like he's like top tier. Like when the Gracies were in like first coming to America and like starting to spread out, he's like in the early instructional videos as like their like dummy like training guy basically. But yeah, he's legit.
Interesting.
And so I was mad that they never show him doing any cool jiu-jitsu stuff, because like if you have that guy there, let him triangle somebody. Just, you know, make it look cool. But it also makes sense because Guy Ritchie's a big jiu-jitsu guy.
I agree though. Like if he knows that kind of thing, I would never have guessed that. He doesn't really fight much really at all. Like does he kills, okay, I take it back. He kills those two guys in like the engine room or whatever. But like besides that, he doesn't really fight much. So like I don't know, if he's that well trained, I would expect him to be fighting a lot more, or at least have some kind of fight sequence for him beyond just him shooting two guys and stabbing another.
there's just not a lot of hand-to-hand combat in this in
Yeah,
general, right?
it's
So I mean, you do get
it's
close quarters with like knives and stuff like that, but
Couple
yeah,
times.
not a lot of.
it's a lot of big burly men walking down a corridor with a silenced gun, shooting people and making jokes.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That's
like none of
that is most of the movie. Yeah.
nobody in our ragtag team dies, right? Like basically no character
Right.
we're introduced to
Right.
throughout the whole movie that's an antagonist or a protagonist dies at all.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
just kind
agree.
of like, oh yeah, these guys are shooting a good percentage from the field because they probably mowed down about 200 people.
100%.
Like, you know.
Right.
Which, like, again, is interesting. I guess even if you wanted to throw it against, like, in comparison of Inglorious Bastards, which you also have Till Schweiger, who's in both of them. He plays the German captain in this one, and then he's
Right.
Hugo Stiglitz in Inglorious Bastards.
Hugo.
Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it is interesting to like contrast those two, where like these guys have weird plot armor, and then like half the bastards die. Spoiler alert! In Inglorious Bastards.
Whoa.
It's a 12-year-old movie at this point, 13.
Too soon.
But yeah, I felt like this it was lacking a little something. I didn't expect so much of this to be actually shed on the water too, and then like that
Quite a
big
bit, yeah.
that big like kind of thing at the end where they're like, all right, well, we're gonna steal it. I thought okay, points in the film's corner. Thought it was cool how they kept finding out information and then the having to relay it back to the group and stuff. That was a cool little tool that they kept using a couple different times throughout the movie. But I did think the final choice to be like, we're gonna steal this boat is like visually, when you're thinking about it, is two tugboats slowly pulling another ship out of a harbor. And like I get bullets are flying back and forth and stuff, but when you keep cutting to like a big like wide shot of everything slowly moving away, it just doesn't feel super crash bang boom exciting in the same way
Right.
like a Fury Road does or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I almost wish they would have had an S-boat sequence where those boats are chasing the tugboats.
Yeah, or something, you know,
or
just
something.
yeah.
No, I can agree with that. It felt a little bit like a little anticlimactic almost. I don't know if that's necessarily the right term I'm looking for, but you're right. It felt like the stakes were a lot higher than what was actually on screen, or at least they wanted the stakes to be a lot higher than what we were actually watching.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for like a few flourishes here and there, I don't know that like I would automatically pick this one out as like a Guy Ritchie film if I didn't know it was directed by him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even so, like I feel like Aladdin, I know more, like he has more of his DNA even in that one than like even this in some ways. I don't know if that's a film thing, you know, or if like they were giving notes or something like that, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's quite as full of like punch as like certainly The Gentleman is, but
right. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
So do you all like The Gentleman more than this? It seems like it.
I
between the two
do.
of you.
I do, yeah.
I would say yeah. Yeah, this
Okay.
wasn't Gentleman was pretty good. I liked it. Overall, this just didn't have anything that was too special for me. Like I said, there's nothing like that stands out where I'm like, oh, you got to go see this for this sequence or this bit
Yeah.
or something like that. Like everything in the movie for the most part was pretty run of the mill and I wouldn't say mediocre, but like just nothing that jumped out at me as like, oh, this is really good. So
Blake, are you
Yeah,
more behind it then? Are you like saying you feel like it's a little more positive than we're giving it credit for?
Yeah, I like I said, I feel like I like this more than The Gentleman, but I think that comes down to just me being more interested in this time period.
Sure.
Of kind of the historic side of this, which I'm sure it's probably not the most accurate, although some of these characters are based off real events, as you saw when kind of the credits roll. But yeah, I think this one, between the stories that are on the same timeline, right? But you go through two different, you kind of have like our ragtag team and their journey, and then you have the journey with what's it? It's Huron and what's the other? The lady's name? I forgot her name already. Pardon
Stewart,
me.
I think.
And they're trying to seduce the lieutenant
Yeah.
right? And kind of so it was I was invested enough. I had an idea of where I had an idea that eventually she was going to be caught and found out that she's not German, right? It was just waiting to figure out how that was going to happen. If it would be something that like us as the viewer would be able to pick up, but of course it's not because it's through a song.
Sure.
Like there's no way we would have picked it up. The antagonist has to pick it up and voice it out loud to another character.
Yeah.
Which like
yeah.
that was like that's I don't know. I feel like it's not the most groundbreaking, right? But overall, I would say I was pleased. The action, it's good action now. I mean, there's
Oh,
a
for
lot of
sure. Yeah.
a lot of gunfire, a lot of close quarters combat with knives, as we were kind of making. Get scenes with some axe, with an axe being used. So yeah, overall, it's good. I like it.
I thought Richardson kind of stole the show for me in a lot of ways, in a lot of parts of the movie. Certainly felt like the MVP.
I agree. Continue.
I thought Cavill was fun. His kind of running "I want a new coat" gag didn't really work for me. Considering he spends like the last third of the movie just walking around in a Nazi uniform.
I was waiting for one of him or the other guy that was dressed up to get like shot by accident, because I was like, realistically, if someone's like, if I'm on edge in a war zone,
Yeah,
and
right.
someone comes up in a Nazi uniform, I'm probably gonna shoot them. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a movie, whatever. But I was low-key kind of waiting for that to happen.
I do like the costume designs in this. I think Richie has a good. I think he likes to show off his costumes. I think he considers himself somewhat of like a fashion guy. So like, you know, I think he likes to show those off in some ways and keep those consistent. So thought I like the team. I think Henry Golding's, you know, a better actor than what he's done. Like, actually, I think across the board, everyone in this is kind of a better actor than probably what they're given to do in this movie. Totally.
I could agree with that.
You know, a lot of it's just kind of like be quippy and handsome, which, you know, they can do. But yeah. And then again, there's one woman in the entire film, it feels like. So, you know, there's definitely that side of it for sure. And again, that's where I'm like, it just does feel like a dad movie in some ways to me. But I wouldn't expect anything less about a thing of Churchill's secret Avengers, you know? It just is what it is. So, it was an easy way to spend a couple hours.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think you can really chalk up to much more than that. If there's someone who's diehard writing this film, more power to you. I will never understand personally. Like, that's just not where I'm at with it. But hey,
yeah,
well,
I think it's
like if Blake said, if you're like a history guy or something. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Blake. Right as you're talking.
Go ahead, bro.
Like if you're a history guy, I could see why you would like this or something like that. Or if you're a big Henry Cavill fan or something, you know.
I mean, yeah, there are reasons to like it, but I don't think you could ever argue it's like, oh, this is Guy Ritchie's best film, or
I don't think so.
Like
I don't think it's
those, or like,
yeah.
I
think this fills the place of that early summer blockbuster type of ordeal, right? Obviously, the reviews seem to be pretty good. I think most people are probably taking it that way as well. You get an A-list actor, a few B-list actors in there, some good writing, a good setting. It's all good, and I feel like most people are Henry Cavill just kind of being honestly one. Now that we're on Henry Cavill, brain's going everywhere though. Absolutely sucks that we don't have Superman.
Says you cut out a little bit. You said that we don't have him as Superman anymore.
Yeah, absolutely sucks that we do not have him as Superman.
It sucks that he never got a good Superman, like a really good Superman movie. You know,
Man of Steel isn't that bad.
No, I think it's decent.
I am with you on that though.
I think it's decent, but I don't. It's not. It's like it, but it's still
not a Dark Knight or any of those.
Yeah, and like
those trilogy or... There's
a certain part of me that just thinks that like Superman's not the dark, edgy one, man. He's the goofy, charismatic, earnest one. That's his whole shtick. Like, Man of Steel is pretty good, but like, it's good for like a Dark Knight version of Superman. Like, it's not.
Yeah, right. I got you.
Very true.
Yeah, it's not the iconic Superman, you know, that I think he could be, and thought he could. You know, he looks exactly like him.
Yeah, he was the dead ringer for Superman. You got that part right at least. But hey, you know what? I'm just glad he's sticking around. I mean, I think you could see quite a few of those actors every once in a while, depending on the role, whatever it is, just kind of fizzle out or take up like B or C list movies or
for sure.
something like that. I'm just glad Henry Cavill has stayed a top name in Hollywood because he's really fun.
He's been around it forever. Like if you go back and watch the 2002 Count of Monte Cristo, he's like 18 in that movie, like just starting. But yeah,
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, that's a good movie. If you've never seen it, Count of Monte Cristo 2002, I think it is.
Heard of it, never watched it.
It's cool. Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce. It's a good movie.
How much Henry Cavill do we have on the entropy list? What do we got? We got
Couple of them
Justice
now.
League, Snyder Cut, this.
Yeah.
Is he in the newest Mission Impossible? No,
He's in
7.
Fallout.
No.
Yeah, he's in 7. He's not in 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't think we have on here.
Which we don't have.
I don't know if we
This
have
is the
him
third one.
Yeah, it
feel
might
like
just
there's
be
gotta
him.
be more,
Yeah.
but
Just the 2 Justice Leagues and this guy?
Yeah, because I mean, other than that, he was really on The Witcher for a while, and then like, has he been doing a ton of
Right,
other things?
right.
Argyle. We just
Yeah.
got him in Argyle.
oh, Argyle. Yeah, that's right. Which that wasn't a bit of sizzle, was it? Or was it? It was, wasn't it?
It might have been. Can't remember. We might not even
Was
have
it-
reviewed that on the pod or talked
I
about
don't
it.
think we reviewed that. I could.
We didn't. You're right. No, we canceled that week, I think, or
Yeah.
switched movies or something like that. We didn't talk about that on pod. But me and you saw it together. That's why it feels like it was like we had a plan to see it. So then, yeah, this might be our only third Cavill. I'm looking at the entropy list. I don't see anything else off the top of my head that he was in or might have been in. Wow, that's a little shocking because I like him a lot. Maybe we do a Henry Cavill movie soon, just to get my fix in.
Mission Impossible 7 is
Just
not
do
bad,
him
man.
justice.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, what's also sad is I don't think we ever. Oh no, we did put that is the one movie on the entropy list that doesn't have all 4 of us ranking
Yeah,
it
that's
is
right.
Mission Impossible
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning because Tyler didn't see it, but we really
Where's
wanted to
that
put it on
sitting
the
at?
list.
I don't have the list in front of me. I'll pull it up.
Relatively high, I think, and as like a. Oh wait, where is it? I don't even know. Hang on.
I don't know if we put it on the list.
No, we did. I remember that being the one that we did that didn't have all 4. Wait, did we not? Did we take it off?
I don't think it's on here, bro.
Dude, I could have sworn
There's
we put
no
it on
way
here.
it's below like No Time to Die, right? Can't be.
Did we not put it on here? No, wait, was it Top Gun Maverick? Was that the one? No, you all reviewed Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, and Top Gun Maverick is on there. Yeah, maybe we
Then
didn't.
Did
maybe
I
we
take
didn't
it
put that on
off or something? Because I could have sworn we put it on there as a.
there. We'll have to look at it. Nonetheless, Henry
I'm
Cavill's
gonna
not
go
in there.
back and listen to that episode. I'm pretty sure we agreed to put it on there as a regular movie, but you're right, it's not on here. It must have gotten taken off by accident or something at some point. I swear to God. Swear on my life, I'm gonna go back and listen to it. Anyway, we can figure that out later. Cool. Well, do we have any big points here on Ministry? Do we have like a favorite scene, favorite action sequence, favorite kill? Any of those?
I liked him
I think
just rolling around with a bow and arrow. That was fun.
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was good. I would probably say that that prison break scene would probably be my favorite.
Sure.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was set up well and some good jokes there too. I like when he's like laughing at the joke of the German officer at the cabin. That was pretty good bit. Yeah. Blake, any favorites?
Trying to think aloud. I don't know. I mean, one where he cuts the guy's heart out is, I mean, that was pretty funny.
It was
And the
pretty
guy
good.
That was good.
catches him walking up the stairs, and he's like, "Is that a heart in your hand?" Yeah, I don't know. There's really nothing. It just seems weird. 'Cause, like, you know what? I actually kind of like the film. There's like nothing that stands out to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's just not. It's not a groundbreaking film, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I went in. I spent 2 hours, and I was like, you know what, Dad would really like this movie. And it ended, and I was like, you know what, the movie's pretty good, and that's it. It's not. I'm not. I don't have to deep dive it. I'm not. It doesn't have you leaving the theater, trying to interpret the film on different levels. Is the vague ending? It doesn't have any of that stuff. You know, you kind of go in there, put on a film for 2 hours, watch some action, call it a day.
Cool. Well, then I think with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and head out of spoilers. So if you've not, or no, that's not where we go. Welcome back, listeners. There we go. That's the one. Who have skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and throw the ministry, or no, we're gonna go ahead and theoretically throw the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare up upon the entropy list. Of course, since we're missing Tyler, we don't have all four of us here. We cannot officially rank this, but of course, we're gonna give you our potential ranking if we were to rank it, and then. That way you can get an idea of where we're at here. If you want to see the entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd. Here we go. Gentleman, where's the gentleman at? I think that's not super high. It's at 72.
Ooh. And that's above Bullet Train too. It's tough.
Right.
That's another one that I kind of thought of too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I can't put this above Bullet Train though.
No.
Not in my sober mind. I couldn't do that. Thinking aloud, scrolling around. Oh man. Late Night with the Devil's at 109.
Yeah, I can't see. That's the thing is like I think this movie's fine, but I'm keep scrolling down.
yeah, right, for sure.
And I go, no, can't do it there. Can't do it there. Yeah, I just keep scrolling and scrolling. This is gonna go way further down than I thought, but
it probably is.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to
again,
split some
not
middle
actually
ground.
ranking.
I'm gonna have to split some middle ground for the sake of conversation, because yeah, there's like Last Voyage of the Meter's at 1. Just like I think that's a little too high.
Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is right there too. Like,
I know, which like honestly, that's way too low. I say that all the time, but like yeah,
it is way too low. Blackening though, that was really funny, and that's
yeah.
9.
This is tough. Even
I think I got it at
126.
137. Right below Ma Rainey's.
137.
Right below Ma Rainey's Black Belt, and I'm right above Lightyear.
That's a good spot. I was gonna go a little bit higher, probably at 132, below Mutant Turtles. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and above Ferrari. Still not a huge fan of that movie.
Yeah,
I think
those ones, like, those are the ones there that I was like, those are probably pretty, like, that's fine to have it above it. It was actually Ma Rainey's that I was like, that's a better movie than this.
Yes, yeah, I think about that one too, and that one's easy to forget about and probably shouldn't be as low as it is. I would have to really rewatch that one before I'm able to be like, oh, this is definitely lower than it should be. Especially with that being Boseman's last, I think, live action feature. So yeah, that one has quietly sank to 136. It's not one we kind of bring up much or bring up very often, but Blake, where you at?
Or
where would you
I'm in the same ballpark, right? So I'm seeing Last Voyage of Demeter 128, Tenet 126, probably below Tenet. Last Voyage of Demeter is give or take. Seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at 131, and I think that's my absolute ceiling. I can't put this over that. And then I'm kind of looking between those. Then Ultimate, and I do like this more than Army of the Dead.
Okay.
And I probably like it more than Ghostbusters. I'm gonna go 134.
134 below Men and above Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay.
I need to rewatch to be honest with you.
I was thinking the same thing as I was ranking this and like kind of scrolled around there. I was I could maybe put this below Men. I'm not going to right now, but after watching Civil War, I'm like, maybe I need to rewatch Men. I don't know. I think Men is a better film if the ending isn't what it ends up being.
Yeah. 19
like
rebirths.
yeah, I think
Trauma. Spoiler
yeah.
alert.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of a spoiler alert, but that really doesn't give away what you're actually going to see if you watch that movie. There's no way to give away what you're actually going to see if you watch that movie. But anyway, yeah, I think that movie could be better if it wasn't for such a bizarre ending. I think the first two acts are really solid, and then it kind of just goes somewhat off the rails, you could say. But yeah, anyway. Okay, well, you have our average ratings. I could average them out, but if I had to guess, it'd probably be like 134, 133. I wasn't really counting it, but it's going to be around there. I don't know if Ty is going to see this movie. I don't think he plans on it, but if he does, we'll give it an official ranking. But I don't think he has plans to as of now. He's a bit busy, as I described at the top of the show. What do you say here, fellas? We're running a little long on time. Ish. It's late. Do we want to do a quick while we're watching? I know we haven't in a while.
We just want to. Blake and I are going to talk about what First Omen.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. First Omen. Go ahead.
Hey, folks! First Omen fucking rules. Go see that movie.
That movie's awesome, right? Isn't it much better than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
Did you go in relatively blind, or did you hear kind of the?
I'd seen the commercials.
rumors.
I'd seen the commercials, and like that movie has no business being as good as it is. Like I don't know what the hell happened. How like that one was the one that snuck by with apparently no studio like fucking with it or anything like that. Like I don't know. It just feels like a genuine like vision. And like I sat down and within like 15 minutes I was like, I wonder if this is like a female director on this one. Sure enough, it was. And like it looks like it's from the 70s. Like it looks like it's shot on film. Like
got the grainy filter on it. Yeah,
man,
for sure.
And then I think all the performances are great. We got like three of just my all-time boys with Ralph Ineson, the Bill Nighy, and then the
from Underworld.
Yep. And then there's like another one of like the priests or something like that too, where I was just like, I know that guy as well. I'm just like, yeah, I really ended up enjoying it so much more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it sucks. It kind of got released in the same time period where Immaculate got released,
which
and
apparently
that probably had more promo with Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria, and I think that's why that had a ton of promo. And the kind of, from my understanding, I haven't seen Immaculate, but the films are eerily similar.
That's what I've heard
about
too.
Some sort of like nun in a certain place and kind of ghost figures and whatnot going on. But yeah, I think this one knocks it out the park. So yeah, went into this pretty blind, knew it was a prequel. I've seen the original Omen. I've seen the one from 2006 as well. Haven't seen the second or third from the original trilogy, but definitely have an idea of them. And yeah, man, I was pleasantly surprised. This movie is very dark. They even got some homages to the original with like certain lines characters are saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, real dark, dude. I was looking at some stuff. They said this almost got an N17.
Yeah. That's
which I can see why. There's a few, spoiler alert, there's a few gruesome things that have to do with women anatomy. But yeah. It's good, man.
Hearing that out of context, I don't know if I want
to. Dude, it's like
what that is.
I'm telling you, like it's like it hits this. It's a throwback, but it's such a weird throwback in some ways because it's a throwback to this like 70s style horror film that doesn't get made anymore. Where it's like American girl in Europe, like so she's like almost all of the like language you hear is not English. Like a ton of it's in Italian. Like it's that slow burn, not really like huge jump scare kind of things going up. And then it's just like it's about the performances. Like it genuinely is like about everyone in the movie and how they're carrying it. And like I love horror movies that like involve the church too, because the church always brings rules. And I think that's such an interesting way to structure your horror film, because obviously horror is all about breaking the rules. So it's just like anytime you add more of that stuff on there, it feels very rhythmic and kind of secure with it. And yeah, I love just like some of the imagery in there too, like when she's praying at the one altar with all the candles around her that looks like the teeth and stuff, and then like there's certain shots where like
cinematography.
for like I remember early on in the movie too, there's like a character going up the stairs, and the way that like the stair like railings are angled, it looks like teeth coming down and like eating someone as well too. It's just really smart filmmaking that I was just like, this is awesome. So
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Nell Tiger Free. She's
You guys are
great
kind of
in
selling
that.
me on this, man.
Dude, honestly, that movie was so much better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be kind of a shit prequel cash grab,
Well,
but I was
100%.
like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll watch it. And I was like,
What's
oh,
it a prequel to?
The Omen.
The Omen.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so.
So there's an original one from I don't even know what that is. Probably what 73, 74, 75, something like that.
Yeah, with
And
Gregory.
then there's a remake in 06.
Yep, that was 6606, baby.
Yeah, I have a vivid memory of that as a child. Of
So
like
do
that
I.
release date.
Yeah, so do I.
June 6, 2006. Yeah,
Yep.
that was on all the advertising.
Wait, I do remember. Actually, I would have been too young.
You
to
would've been
probably
so
remember
young.
that.
I was like, the guy could even
I
read
kinda like-
that
But
poster.
I kind of remember. I don't know. I kind of remember that day. I would have been like kindergarten, first grade. Maybe I don't remember
Yeah.
the trailers, but I do remember that kind of
For sure, yeah. That was a good
Yeah,
promo release, but yeah, it's good. It's got some weird forms of like bestiality and shit involved in the film.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good, dude.
It's very Rosemary's Baby, very very. I mean, the first Omen. I've seen clips from the first Omen, like the original Omen, not the first Omen, the movie that just came out.
Such a weird title name,
right,
for this
yeah,
one to
yeah.
be called the First Omen because
Yeah.
it's hard to discuss them.
Right. Yeah. But I do want to go see it now, and I think I must have seen the new one, or the quote unquote new one, the 06 one, at some
Yeah.
point in high school. But basically, Adam, the Omen is they think a rich ambassador's wife goes into labor and has trouble, and they are instead given a new son. The son might be the Antichrist.
Oh,
Cool. And like the quote unquote omen is like a scar that looks like 666, which is like the mark of the beast kind of thing, and that's the omen that you're gonna see and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
Or is it photographs? No one can take a photograph of it. It's something like that. Anyways,
Yep, you're onto it.
but it's it's telling you, man, that new one's good. It's real good. I would like the roommate too that she has. Like, I thought she was really good.
Mm-hmm. It's even got a good little twist to it too. Where like I didn't call the twist immediately, but once they're going through the book, the photos, and they're like, oh well, like it's not her. Then I was like, okay, obviously I know.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not something I called in real time. But there's a one shot. There's a one-shot take of her possession. That's I don't know. It's probably like
Dude,
100
so
seconds
good,
or so, and it's so good. Yeah, and it's all in one take, and it's some acting. That's some good acting. You get about 90 to 100 seconds of solid acting of her just becoming possessed, and yeah, man, good film. I'd check it out. First-time director, woman director as well. Let me get her name as well.
It's
a shout out. Do you remember?
I believe it's Arkasha Stevenson, maybe.
Yeah, I think she's done some shorts, if I remember correctly, doing some research. But yeah, first
I don't know.
First wide release.
I will sign up for whatever she does next. Same with Nell Tiger Free. Like, I'm in on whatever she does too.
Facts.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
much better than Immaculate, to my understanding.
My boy,
and arguably, go ahead.
My boy Ralph Ineson. He's
awesome.
Dude, I just love whatever
he
that guy shows
to play
up.
A role like this.
Dude, yeah, he's so great. He's so great. I don't understand how he talks normally, but like his voice just echoes. Like it's just got that weird, it's so rich.
Speaking of that, we need to get the witch on here. I think it's on the horror short list, but yeah, we've got to get that on here. But yeah, man, good, better than Immaculate. Hate that it kind of released at that same time frame. It got brushed under the rug. Arguably better than Late Night with the Devil, which I didn't really expect. Debatable.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like it's debatable.
Between the two of them, I would probably return to First Omen before I go back to Late Night right now.
Yeah, It's good, man.
The way you guys are
So-
talking about this, I feel like is higher than you guys were on late night.
I am.
It's-
It's partial surprise too. I think that's the big thing. Is
Sure.
that like I expected this to be like The Nun, and instead,
yeah, right, for sure.
Okay.
instead it came out and it's like a a B plus tier like horror movie,
Got
like,
it, got it,
like
got it.
Annabelle
Yeah, right.
Creation, like a Mike Flanagan, where it's just like I
Yeah.
trust this person, whatever they do next. Like they
Yeah.
they just made this really well.
Right, because
Gotcha.
as I keep echoing it, it was released around the same time as Immaculate, and I believe it's the same weekend.
Yeah,
And I think Immaculate is the film we all thought it would be.
right.
Right, in terms of it's like a 90-minute jump scare fest, like nothing happens, and it's just Sydney Sweeney on camera.
Right.
And in a world, I thought that's what this would be, but it's
Yeah.
totally not at all. So yeah, it's good.
Good. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. I kind of want to check it out now, especially if it's 70s style. Is it like the holdovers in the fact that it's like 70s
Yeah,
style?
like it's kind of that style, like
Like, it
that
looks like it
lighting,
could be
that,
like-
that. Yeah, genuinely.
Like that could be like it looks a little bit like Exorcist.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like this
for
is
sure.
this is
Then I might be on board.
genuinely like that kicks the shit out of the Exorcist believers. Like it's so much
Oh,
better
well,
than
that's
that.
not hard to do.
But
Yeah.
like, it's since 2018. This is the best horror like continuation franchise since 2018. Halloween is the best continuation of like a franchise since then.
Interesting. Okay.
I think I'd co-sign that immediately off the top of my head too. Yeah, I'm with you.
What about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, sure.
You know what? Let's wrap it up.
Speaking of which, you know what does look bad? That new Strangers movie. It looks so bad.
You did send a text on that.
Dude.
You're like, this looks fucking
I don't
horrible.
know.
I
don't
didn't.
know.
I caught the very end of that trailer for this movie.
Well, then you got like
Ministry.
the part where they're like, "Why are you doing this? Because you're here." That's not even the
Yeah.
line. Like, come on.
Yeah,
What is the line? Because isn't there something
you were home.
similar?
because you were home.
That's right. Yeah. That is actually that might be the only line I caught from that trailer, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah, like I don't
The one
understand.
they released in 2019?
Yeah, Pray
18?
at Night or whatever
19?
it was.
Yeah, like that wasn't even that good to be honest with you. But I'm sure it's probably light years better than what the new one's going to be.
I just don't understand how you fuck up a Strangers thing. Like that should be a horror anthology series that comes back every 5 years and every version of it's awesome. Like it should not be that hard to do just creepy home invasion things when you have
should
the
do our own.
scariest masks of all time in
Yeah.
that thing.
and also just a terrifying concept. Like you were just getting attacked for
right.
no rhyme or reason, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, there's I wouldn't say infinite ways to do it, but like there's a lot of cool things you could do with that concept. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know, and
It
seems
should
like
be
they're just
a-
kind of reusing it.
Yeah, for sure, bro. You're definitely right. But on the flip side, it should be a good year for horror, right? We got Late Night with the Devil. We got The First Omen. Long Legs is coming out with
Yes.
Nicolas
I'm
Cage
very interested in
and
that.
Michael.
I've
Monroe.
heard I've heard like the
that's-
marketing stuff for that's kind of been
Yeah,
wild,
don't really know
so-
what it's about, but that's this summer. I'm definitely tuned in. We've got and
We'll have
that's
to get that one on pod.
who is that? That's Oz Perkins,
Yes, I think.
right? Yeah, I believe so. We've got Alien Romulus with who?
That's
That's what's our guy's
Alvarez.
name?
Fede
Thank you,
yeah.
Alvarez. Thank you, Fede Alvarez. Which
Is
that
that a
looks.
sequel to Prometheus? Like, do I have to watch Prometheus, or is that just
No,
another
I-
alien movie?
I think it's
I
a
believe
sequel
it
to
takes place
Alien.
between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So it thinks it takes place between 1 and 2. And Fede
So I
Alvarez.
can watch.
done-
I can just watch that, having just watched the first one, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Awesome.
And he's
That's
done
great.
Evil
That's
Dead
such great news.
2013. Yeah, man. He's as Adam as Nathaniel was talking about the film, kind of the best horror reboot remix
Yeah.
since 2018 Halloween. Fede Alvarez did Evil Dead 2013, which is probably the best remix since it's come out.
Yeah.
Would be my immediate answer. So yeah. Looking forward to that one. There's another one, In a Violent Night, which
I'm excited
looks
for that.
kind of like a Friday the 13th Camp Crystal Lake type of ordeal. And from what I've kind of been reading about, there's a lot of
It's
like POV of the killer.
Yeah, it's from Jason.
In the film going on.
Voorhees
Yeah, so
POV.
it's gonna be a good year for horror, fellas.
Yeah.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Well, that about wraps it up, I think. Share the pod.
Yeah.
Talk to us. Tell a friend.
Yeah. Share the podcast. Share with a friend, family member. But I don't even know a good thing to do from this movie. Maybe member of your team. Do you have a team? Do you have? Did you say? What did you say?
Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah. say it more loud. Say it louder.
Yeah.
So everybody can hear you.
If you find yourself hooked up with a car battery to your nipples, tell them about the
That's an
pod.
unfortunate situation to be in. That's true. Yeah, just that's how you get out of it.
Say it loud.
Just
say it
make
proud.
Make a good recommendation, and they'll back all the way off. While you're doing that, follow the show. Follow us on Twitter at Banter Row, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and on YouTube we're just Back Row Banter. And then our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. I don't know if Ryan Foley's written in for this week, but I have not checked the email. So if you did, Ryan, I'm sorry. But listener, you could write in, and I will check the email next week and maybe read out your message live on there. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Yo, Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. Be on there, log some things, rating them out stars. PlayStation, Xbox, Mr. Water Coolers. Been getting back on MK1, finishing up Ragnarok. Been getting back. So, yeah. Next MK character is Homelander.
Oh,
which should be, I want to say, in about probably 5 weeks or so. But yeah, they've got a pretty good cast of characters going on right now. But that's where you can. We'll push it over to, let's go to Adam.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish, where I've stayed up to date, relatively up to date on my Letterboxd there. Few things missed here and there that I don't really feel like going back and logging, but for the most part, I'm staying up to date there, which has been, I wouldn't say it's like a New Year's resolution of mine, but it's been something I've been doing this year, started around the new year, and I want to continue to do. So, yeah, catch up with me on Letterboxd. Nathaniel, get us out of here.
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @NSGingrick. You can find me on Instagram, NathanielG92. Sandpiper Tapes is my other podcast, and we will, be chilling, stay excellent. What is it? What was my thing they say? Yeah, stay excellent. Wasn't it?
Stay excellent to each other.
Yeah, stay excellent to each other, everyone, and we'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Tonight's games.
And it's the Clippers Mavericks are the night game.
Clippers Mavs are the night game.
Which the Mavs laid an egg, man. I thought they'd show up much better the first game.
I think that's about to change tonight, dude. I
would
really
hope
think
so.
they'll come out storming tonight. I think they just got off to a slow start because they look good in the second half.
Luka and Kyrie, man, they should be in every game. You know what I mean? Just off those two guys.
Yeah, and without Kawhi, or those, if Kawhi's coming back, then I changed my mind on that because I think he's
Is he playing today?
I think he's supposed to play tonight. I think that's what I saw.
Man.
So I changed my mind. I don't know if. I mean, that team's got at least 2 guaranteed Hall of Famers in Kawhi and James Harden, potentially 4 with, actually even you could say 3 almost guaranteed with Russ. Paul George is iffy, but I mean 4 potential Hall of Famers. That's just a lot in the playoffs to deal with, and I know they kind of had a rough second half of the season, but I think they'll lock in for the playoffs, and I don't know if Mavs can really put it together completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. When we were kind of talking about the Nuggets of them being a top 2-3 team in the West, I think the Clippers are the best team. Right? But granted, it's tough to put them over the Nuggets because the Nuggets have that winning pedigree now, which, as you know, in sports, like that's tough to overcome once you know how to win, So the Clippers, they got to figure it out, but their talent is unreal, dude. They're deep, man.
They are deep. Like, as in terms of a playoff team, like, again, rough second half of the season. I get it. In terms of a playoff team, though, the Clippers
Yeah.
would scare me shitless if I was anyone else.
Playoffs are so different too, bro, in basketball, where it's like, there's always like the running stuff you always hear about a lot of the international or European players saying like people like the regular season's easy, like no one's playing defense, no one's trying hard, like that shit's out the window come playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I mean, I will
you
say
watch
this
the games, people are
last
making crazy shots.
this last regular season, especially in the West, I would say was probably the most competitive regular season we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
From I've only started watching basketball consistently the year prior, but like still, even just what I know of basketball, what I've seen in the past, like they were taking, especially in the West, like those games were taken seriously because of how deep the West was. The East, it was like a little bit less competitive, but
Yeah.
still, your point taken is playoff basketball is going to be a hell of a lot different than regular season.
Oh,
And
yeah,
when you have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden all playing playoff basketball, that's a hard team.
Yeah,
to go
right,
up
for
against,
sure.
dude.
Yeah.
That's a real hard team to go up against as long as they stay healthy, because that's still the concern. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know. Out of the West, it's going to be a toss up, dude. I think the Nuggets look solid. But the Clippers, I think, will be a sleeper, where like people aren't really expecting them to go super deep based on how the rest of the season went for them. But
Yeah.
I definitely think they could.
with you.
Timberwolves look good, but I don't think they have enough to make it to conference finals. I think they can beat the Suns because the Suns are kind of frauds. But
Yeah,
after
right.
that, I don't know.
Surprisingly, I think the
dare
T Wolves are just the they're a tad too young. Like them and the Thunder are in the same boat.
They
to me.
are.
You
Yeah.
know, like the playoffs is different. You got to get there, see it, touch it, feel the
Right.
game. So I think like next year, the year after, they'll be kind of set. But I
Right.
think they're a little too
think-
young right now.
I think the Thunder after this year will be true contenders. We're like,
Yeah,
I
for
expect
sure.
them to take the West next year almost. But I do think you're right, where this is like just more of a proving ground
Yeah.
kind of run for them, just to get some experience and build up for next year, because they also can. They didn't do anything that deadline really meaningful, and like that team is one or two players away from potentially being like a dynasty team with how young those guys are. I don't know how long they have each of them, but like if they add one or two more pieces, like that team will be the best team in the West for years to come. I think, if they play their cards right. With Shea, Chet, and J-Dub, dude, Jalen Williams, is really good. He's he's right up there as I mean, he's climbing the ranks in terms of like top players in the league, especially in the West. All that. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun playoffs to watch though. It's already been really good. Those two games last night were really good, and two almost buzzer beater back-to-back games.
Yeah. For sure.
Gonna be interesting.
Switching topics onto another sport. So I've been seeing hockey. Nathaniel, your hometown team is losing the squad. Looks like they're going to Salt Lake City or Utah. Well, it'll probably be Utah, but they're obviously going to play in Salt Lake City.
Talking about the Coyotes?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been fucking dead to the valley for years now. Their owner sucks ass. Like
That's kind of what I was reading about on Reddit for the most part. Yeah.
like they've had, I think at certain points, good teams there, to be honest with you. But like, one, why the fuck you putting a hockey team in the desert? Two, like, and two, like, yeah, their owner sucks balls. So I hope, God bless them, move on to greener pastures. Maybe the Mormons will like you better. And I hope you go up there and make a ton of money.
The only thing I want to add to that, well, yes, I knew they were kind of a doormat franchise. I know for a minute they got out of their regular arena. Then for a while they were playing at Arizona State, right, where they play hockey. Then they moved
Arizona State had a good hockey team for a while there when I was like actually around.
I think they still do.
Yeah, weirdly, I don't know why,
program.
but yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird one.
But yeah, like, and I know like fucking Wayne Gretzky was their coach for a while when I was growing up in like in the Valley and stuff. But even that was like they were dog shit then too. I think they had a competitive team every once in a while, but they've been pretty near the bottom of the barrel, and their owner just would never spend money on them. So,
yep, easy way to get your team purchased and take somewhere else, right?
I mean, again, wish them all the best. Nothing but good feelings for those guys. Sick ass uniforms in the 90s. by the way. The old school logos still rules.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up their uniforms. I know the logo.
Yeah, I only know the logo that's got like the weird like coyote thing with a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, they're the uniforms.
Are you talking about these green ones, or are you talking about the?
They're kind of red maroon, like they're goofy, but they're just kind of sick too. Like,
I'm just really interested in what Utah or
sick,
Salt Lake City is gonna rename the franchise, especially with
I think Coyotes
Seattle
is a good
coming
name.
in recently with Kraken. Like they need to come hard, in my opinion.
I've seen Yetis is a popular one for Salt Lake.
Okay.
Utah Yetis is what I've seen. Is like it's just like fan things thrown out there.
Sure,
Of course,
yeah,
those
yeah,
things
yeah.
never come to fruition, but I think that would be a cool one. But I don't know if Yetis have like an association with Salt Lake, so I don't really know if that would make much sense.
I say keep.
I think it.
I say keep Coyotes. I like Coyotes as a team mascot.
I like Coyotes, but I don't know if it fits outside of Arizona.
Right.
There's Coyotes
So what I was
everywhere.
thinking is, and
What'd you
it's. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Do the Rams belong in Los Angeles? Like,
Okay, okay. You
The
got me there.
Coyote. There's coyotes everywhere. They're scavengers.
That's
they're
true.
all over the
That's
place.
true. That's true.
What I was hoping they'd shoot for, whether they're called Utah or go by Salt Lake City, was if they can get some form of cat. Like it'd be cool. Like I don't think I've ever seen like a snow leopard mascot. I think it'd be really cool to get some type of like
Now we're
snow
cooking.
leopard, snow cat, something like that would be pretty cool.
Okay.
You don't see that a ton, right? You always see like your panther, tiger, lion, shit like
Puma.
that. You know? Yeah.
Jaguar.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, go get them, guys. Yeah. Good luck to you. But it was time for them to move on.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Hate to see it.
It's painful. Sucks, but probably for the best.
Well, I mean, Chicago might be losing the White Sox at some point. I mean, I don't know if I want them.
Is that real?
No,
I
not
was gonna
really.
say, what?
Last time they were really bad, and fans rooted for them to sell the team. The owner, what's his name, Jerry Reinsdorf, threatened to move to Nashville. I think is what I remember. So
Yeah, well, he's gonna have another rough couple of years here for you guys. White Sox are gonna be ass.
I'm a Cubs fan. I don't care.
True.
Good for the White Sox.
Cubs aren't gonna be
Bulls, on the other hand, that's where I have a
Yeah,
problem.
they suck.
That's where I have a problem.
Talk
Did you hear
about
they
laying a
offered
fucking
DeMar?
dud, bro. On that
Oh,
the
yeah, that was
second
bad.
play-in game with no
Against
Jimmy
the-
Butler. I was watching it
yeah,
like, what
against
the
the
hell
Heat.
is going on, bro?
Yeah, that's Bulls basketball though.
Unexcusable.
That's Bulls
Unexcusable,
basketball,
bro.
dude. What's unexcusable is them offering DeMar a 2-year contract. What are we doing?
They need to just blow that shit up, bro.
I've been saying that since the end of last season. Even
yeah.
before that, honestly.
They gotta blow it up. Bro.
But I don't think they will. They just extended Vooch. They're offering DeMar another contract. Like I think they are selling tickets, and they're perfectly happy with playing basketball.
That's
Mediocre.
crazy. Like where you talk about like the media reach that the Bulls had in the 90s,
Dude.
like to have fallen
storied
that far.
franchise. It's the Celtics, the Lakers, the Bulls. Those are the top 3
Yeah,
franchises
right.
in the NBA, without a doubt.
Knicks are probably in there too.
Knicks are in there.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
top.
yeah.
Those are the top
Those are
4.
top
We'll go
four,
with that.
sure.
Those are go with the top 4.
But like still, even today, I guess maybe it'd probably be like the Lakers. I still think the Bulls are probably more popular globally than like the Celtics.
globally, I do.
The Celtics
guys,
or-
I think
I
that's.
don't know.
That's
it's still the ball. It's
hard
still
to say.
NBA. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
globally. Like you go to certain places, they'll still
You're
have
not
heard
wrong.
of Michael Jordan and the Bulls before they will
Yeah,
have heard
right.
of Lakers or the Celtics
Right.
or the
correct.
Knicks.
Michael Jordan being who he was for the Bulls, or just especially writing out his entire career as a Bull, like in the 90s. Like, you're right. That's where the power of
Yeah, they're like the
it
Yankees.
comes
Like
in, but-
even
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
someone who's never heard of baseball knows the Yankees, or if you've never
Right.
heard of
They might-
basketball,
They
you
might
probably
not know the
Bulls.
Cleveland Guardians, but they know the New York Yankees. You know. What a terrible name and a terrible logo.
I don't think Guardians is that bad.
I don't think it's okay. I don't hate the name, but I hate the logo. and how they and I hate their uniforms, and I wish they would just switch that up a little bit. They could have gone a whole different route, but they kept the same colors, and which like I don't disagree with that, because I think keeping the same colors is, and like keeping a brand identity is fine, but
Yeah.
I think it would have been more fun. I didn't love their colors, like the deep blue and the red. I didn't love their colors to begin with.
Looks too much like Atlanta.
And a little bit, yeah. They don't have a unique identity to me now, especially with the Guardians. Like Indians, kinda. Even those colors back then, I didn't love, but now especially, I'm just like, they just look like a very generic, bland team, and the logo's kind of gross, and just not a big fan of their brand at all.
So now that you mentioned that, right, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Guardians name either, and it makes me go back to when the Washington, formerly Redskins, changed their name. Like now they go by the Commanders, but before that, for like I think it was like a 2-year interval, they went by the football team, which I actually thought was awesome.
You like the Washington football team?
It's like a football club. Like it's like Washington FC. Type of thing, you know what I mean? And that's when I was like, it'd be cool. Like, what if they just implemented that for like Utah and hockey team? Like, I don't know if it works that way, but like that'd be cool to me.
You're much
having
more
one like
you're so much more likely to have the Samsung Tigers at this point, or the fucking
right.
Apple.
Well, hang on. Samsung have a KBO team. All right, relax.
So there I go.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's already
I like
fine.
the name.
The
after the
KBO is
sport.
sponsored, by the way. I'm pretty sure every team in the KBO.
Well, then the
is
Disney Aladdins are next,
There you
or
go.
something like that.
I mean, we are not very far away with like logos just right on the front of the jersey, and I don't know. We're not very far away from that happening.
Give me the sports name. I want Washington football team. I want Cleveland baseball club.
That'd be kind of cool. The CBC. I'm not
Yeah,
mad
you
at
see,
that.
like, come on, man. It looked good, man. I liked it.
Finally, rounding out sports talk here. There are no moral victories in boxing. You can be drinking every day and still be a freak athlete, and I'm still really good at boxing, so who knows?
Yeah, man. That's we'll kind of keep it brief. We're tangent here, but didn't expect that. I mean, flat out didn't expect it.
I mean,
thought
he
Haney
looked
would
like
kinda-
shit at certain points in that fight too. That's like what everyone's everyone's not talking about. They're like, Garcia won the fight. He did, but he also did fucking nothing for like 5 rounds, and then
he's
just
like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I lost. I don't have as much to say. I don't know that much about boxing as I do about MMA, obviously. So like, it's just so. That was such a weird fight for me to see, and like for it being a title, but not really for a title because Garcia missed weight.
Because he missed weight. Yeah, it was goofy. Everything about it was just goofy. And then you kind of shot me a text beforehand, so we chomped it up briefly. But I mean, yeah, he's just reaching like god tier troll levels, kind of like where Adrian Broner was like 10 years ago.
Sure.
Where I was like, I just don't think he really cares about boxing at all. I think everything to him is now just a cash grab.
Yeah, right.
Which, so I just didn't expect him to actually go out there and legitimately try to win, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sure enough, he did. And I was just like, wow, that's not a good look for Haney, man.
He realized that being a famous boxer is more lucrative.
It's more beneficial than being a great boxer.
Great boxer. Yep.
Yeah, man. So
I
yeah,
think
that's not a
after-
good look for Haney, bro, to go out like that.
No.
That's fucking tough.
No, I mean it's a terrible look for Garcia too, because like I don't know, man. Like you can pull
All
that trick
pub is
once.
good pub though, bro.
You can, but like you can get away with that like trick of the acting crazy once, right? But eventually, like his next fight, what does he do? Does he do the rematch? Does he do the Haney or like? And then he's got to come in on weight too if he wants to be like. I guess that's the ultimate sign that like he's just not.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think he cares, bro.
You're right.
As long as he gets his money,
You're right.
he'll obviously try to win. I think while he's
Right.
out there, you know what I mean, through just competitiveness. But I think he's tapped out of like professional boxing, quote unquote. Of,
Being
I don't give a
like
fuck to be the best boxer.
after Tank beat his ass, he's just like, well,
Yeah.
that's my ceiling. Like, might as well just do the money fights now.
Yep. So
Yikes.
crazy, man. That was crazy. Didn't expect it.
Yeah. That's also the other thing too, is now like again, when the wheels do fall off for Ryan Garcia, I will not be surprised in this.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
6 months from now, he could be coked up in a head-on collision, going the wrong way down
Jesus.
5 or something.
Rough. Yeah.
Just saying.
One final thing to round out sports talk. Then I'll make this quick. But I will most likely be suiting up in the Arlington Heights Rec Baseball League this summer.
Okay, I'm in the Arlington
Yeah.
Heights basketball league right now, my man.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's fun, man.
you're gonna pull
I know you saw that. I know you sent that text.
Yeah. Got swindled
Yeah.
into that with some homies. So yeah, it's
That's
I'm
that's
gonna
a
be.
fucking workout, bro. Holy
Yeah, I know. Oh my dude, I couldn't imagine playing like a full like. How are you playing?
Yeah.
What 40 minutes? 40 minutes? 40.
20-minute halves, bro.
Okay, so 40. Yeah, I couldn't
That's
imagine playing a
I
full
was fucking dying.
a
out
full
there,
40,
brother.
dude. I'd be gassed.
I
But
really
I'm-
want to
I'm
know.
nervous about baseball, man.
Yeah, I
Go
want to
ahead,
know
go ahead.
like what the caliber of player is going to be, like who you're up against.
In my league?
Yeah.
I've heard it's a huge mix. It's people like me who like I haven't played since high school. I've thrown a ball
Right.
maybe 3 or 4 times since high school and
Mhm.
swung
Right,
a
right.
bat twice. But then it's also like kids fresh out of high school or like first year out of college.
Right.
People who come home and are just looking for a fun league. People who like play in college and come home and
Right.
are just looking for a fun league to play in the summer. It is such a huge mix
Yeah.
of people.
For sure.
So I'm probably gonna be asked. Like I said, I've swung a bat twice since high school, and so I'm gonna like have to get in the cage.
How'd you get roped
get
into
some
this?
teamwork
Yeah.
in. One of my friends,
Gotta be a buddy.
slash old teammates that I
Yep.
played rec baseball with in high school, they have a team and they were trying to keep it together. So, because you gotta find your own people, it's
Yeah.
not it's not a super organized thing. So it's like he's just trying to keep his team together. He was wondering if I wanted to play, and I was like, and it was funny was I was talking about it with one of my coworkers who had a son who played in the same league around the same time as me and everything. And I was talking about that league earlier in the day that he hit me up.
Mhm.
And so he texted me later that night, and I was like, man, this is gonna be probably the last chance I would have to play like baseball, because I don't know if I'll be in this area next summer, and then like after that, like I'm certainly not gonna try to join an adult league. So like if I ever want to play an actual game of baseball again, that's somewhat serious and somewhat organized, like this is probably the last chance I'll have. So like why not? It'll be a fun thing to do over the summer.
So
And
just
there's,
so I'm
Go ahead. Go ahead.
just so I'm understanding, not to interrupt you, this is actual baseball, not slow pitch softball, right? So
No,
this
this
is
is-
like
this
with the
is-
baseball
this is-
and motherfuckers
this
just throwing that shit
is-
overhand.
Motherfucking regular
Oh,
baseball.
yeah, that's
yeah,
tough.
I don't think I'm not sure I'll get a hit. I haven't stood in front of someone throwing a ball at me since my senior year.
Yeah,
going to
right,
So
right,
since
yeah.
2019, I have
Yeah.
not had someone like throw a ball. Like I've played wiffle ball and stuff,
Of course,
but
yeah.
never like an actual baseball.
Just get that.
I'm
butt down.
hoping there's enough muscle memory left in me to like be able to make contact, but I'm really not sure. If I face anyone who throws above 75, 80 miles an hour, I'm probably cooked. I'm
How
probably
fast do you think people
That's
are
what-
throwing?
that's
this?
gonna be
so-
my
someone give me a
question.
gauge. Baseball is such a foreign concept
That's-
to me.
well,
Like
that's-
I don't have any proximity to this.
that's
So,
the
like,
thing
what,
is like
what are we talking?
there are people in this area that went
Right.
like people I know that went and played like D2 or D3 ball.
Yeah, yeah,
and like
for
some
sure.
D1 players too. So like there are people in this area who can play and can throw. I don't know how many of them are going to be in this league, but there's going to be a
Right.
handful here and there that'll just come in and throw 6 innings and six hitless innings probably.
Right,
Like it's
yeah.
just going to be that kind of thing. I'm not going to take it super serious. I'm just hoping I don't get hurt. I also like haven't like sprinted for like a full out sprint for
Yep.
90 feet in a long time. I haven't thrown like my shoulder's going to hurt.
That first
I'm
game,
a little nervous.
you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How the hell did I do
Yeah,
this?" as a
You're gonna
kid.
be.
I know
so
I'm
fucking
legitimately
sore, bro.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
I
be-
mean,
And not getting hurt is the biggest key in any adult league. So like my
100%.
my buddy rolled his ankle our first game last Thursday, and like I saw it happen. I was just like, that
Well.
blows. You know what I mean? I was like, that blows,
Just 'cause it's like-
bro.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to avoid injury.
You
But
have to.
I'm going to. I've got a friend of mine who is like he's got his own gym. He does training for like school younger athletes, like middle school, high school. for maybe once or twice before the season starts. Just get some training in, get some batting
Sure.
cage work in,
Flexibility, all type of shit, dude. There's a
all
lot
of
of
it, dude.
movements that you haven't
I need to
done in so
run through the
long.
gauntlet. It's so many. I'm legitimately a little nervous because I like, haven't signed up or fully committed to it yet. But I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. And then like the more I sat on it, the more I was like, can I actually fucking play a full game of baseball
Bro.
for like, and let alone like 18 games? I don't think I'll make all 18 because there's like 16 people on the roster because everyone's adult and got
Of
shit
course,
going
yeah.
on. So
People
like,
miss games all
people
the
are,
time.
yeah. Well, I doubt we'll ever have a full 15 people there,
No,
but
never.
yeah, it's just like I said kind of committed to it, and I was like, wait, I don't know if I actually could. But at this point, I'm like, I should probably do it because every time I walk my dog and I see like the middle school travel teams playing at Pioneer Park by my house, I'm like, that could be me, or that was me, and that could still be me. So yeah, I think it'll be fun at the end of the day. I'm just a little nervous about how my body's gonna hold up and whether I take a ball to the face.
Yeah, I would say as long as you get out there and kind of do some mobility yourself the week or so before, because I kind of felt the same way. I'll still stay in the gym and like work out and stuff, but as far as like
Of course, yeah.
actually doing like cardio and running, like that first game, dude, was
just like
tough.
flexibility.
We had subs,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different, dude. When you're actually
It's
playing
so
like
different.
a real sport, like you know what I mean? It's like it's one of those where to Nathaniel's point, like that game ended. And I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I have to do this 9 more times. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, this, oh my God.
Yeah, man. Like,
Ridiculously sore, bro.
It's not like it's not a pickup game. It's not like I'm just gonna toss it in easy to you, like, see if you can get a hit or whatever it is.
Right, because
like,
once you're out there, like motherfuckers are playing. Like you know, like, that's the thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it, as seriously as like I can at the same. Like I'm not gonna be diving for balls or anything like that.
Yeah, right. For sure.
But like I'm gonna be trying as much as I can to, and everyone else will be too. So
for sure, man.
Let's get that bunt ready.
Like,
I've never bunted in my life.
What?
I'm not fast. I'm not fast, and I've always been a good hitter. So like I've just never bunted.
Oh,
I've
that's fair
tried a
enough.
couple times and I hit it foul. But I've never bunted. I'm just not fast. So everyone and all my coaches just would have me hit because I'd have a better chance of getting hit that way.
So walk me through what do you think the play is in rec league baseball, Nathaniel? So from your baseball mind, like how do you think the game goes? Is the play it's just like bunt and get on base because you don't think you don't think there's the coordination for like the catcher to get the ball, flip it to first fast enough?
Yeah,
or do you
well,
think
like
people are just hitting fucking dingers out the park.
I reckon it's probably like there's probably 5 dudes that just run that league. Like there's probably
That's
just
definitely
like,
how it's gonna be.
there's like 5 dudes that run that league. They probably all pitch. They all throw like low 80s, and like they probably like Adam says, they just sit people up, walk them up, sit them down, like that kind of thing. I don't know, man.
Right.
Like
so very minimal scoring. You're thinking.
yeah, like if it was me and I was going out there, I'd be bunting first pitch and like trying to get third base to crash in and like make
It
activity
could be you,
happen.
Nathaniel. It's 18 plus. There's no age.
Yeah,
limit
right,
here,
bro. I'm
so-
1,000. I got the only thing beer
could be-
league I got right now is the beer gut. Like my shoulder.
I mean, hey,
I go
not
up there.
everyone's gonna be throwing low 80s. If someone's throwing what they were in high school, I could probably still hit that. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Fair enough.
We'll see. I'll get some hits. I'm sure not. I'm sure everyone's not throwing gas.
Are you
but
gonna be pitching?
once someone? I don't know yet. Because I did pitch when I would
I
play,
remember.
but I don't know if I would be any good at this point or how my arm would hold up. So like I'm just gonna see how I feel. Same thing with catching. I would like love to try again, but like I don't know if my knees would be doing too hot. They've been doing better recently because I've been training them a little bit more in the gym in terms of like strength and conditioning them. But yeah, I don't know. Pitching and catching, I'm iffy on. I'm just gonna see how I kind of feel once I start playing again.
I feel like if I was gonna pitch, I would need to take like the next year to like build myself back up to it. Like I'm not even kidding. Like,
Well, you okay? But yes, but your level of pitching compared to my level of pitching, like your peak is much higher than mine, and you would probably be trying to throw a lot more.
yeah, like that's
and-
how I
and
would
also
play.
more
I would not
pitches
play
and-
any other positions. Like
Right.
I couldn't hit. That was my whole thing. So that's why I pitched. So like,
Yeah. But I mean, hey, man, if they need me to throw, I'll go in there. I just don't think I'll be throwing many strikes.
True.
I don't know. We'll see. I just got to warm back. I got to get back into
Yeah,
it.
if you need a ringer
Just
in
see
late
how-
August, let me know.
I mean, hey,
if
we
you
might need a sub
closer.
here or there. Yeah, yeah. We'll dim the lights. We'll blast the tunes, and we'll bring Nathaniel Gingrich on the Nizza.
Just
The like 12 parents in the stands are
get,
chanting.
Get Enter Sandman going on like a little Sony Bluetooth speaker.
A little a little JBL or something like that. It's just a JBL flip, one single JBL flip. You can't even hear it in center field. It's just for the catcher and the umpire, basically.
Just carry it in with me.
Yeah. It's just, no, it's actually just one of those clip ones. It's on the side of your belt loop. Yeah.
For some reason, I run out of the dugout and hop over the center field fence to run in like there's a bullpen.
you run around the fence all the way to center field.
And then
and then up the fence. Oh, there is no bullpen,
That's
but
funny.
you made your own. Holy shit, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, so pray for me, gentlemen.
Trust me, I will, because I know it too well. So,
well, you guys will
you'll have
be
to
out
let me know.
there doing all your hard sports you used to be playing. I will be sweating it up on the volleyball sand courts where
Oh,
no
you're back?
injuries can happen, and
Well, I don't know about that.
far less likely. I'll say
Far less likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
hard to twist an ankle in sand.
That's true.
That is true.